Iain Nixon, AWCF, originally from Scotland, now working in Newmarket.
Now,
you know, the very essence of the mental game is this. The only reason an event matters is because we make it matter.
welcome to the Mullins Farrier Podcast.
I had a soccer coach, and he always said, we are going to be the fittest team always out there. Because in the moment, you don't want to be worried about being tired. You want to be focused on the soccer game.
Right.
Which is what's going to translate for me, hopefully, in the CJF, is that I'm not worried about being tired. I can focus on the task at hand.
And granted, he was like, get your specimens made. 3 months before you take your exam, get all your AW specimens made. And it's good to have other people putting that pressure on you as well. Sometimes if it's a single journey, and you've not got mentors that are coaching you, helping you, you kind of rest a little bit.
If you're hearing this, you are currently on the non-subscriber feed. If you would like to hear this episode in its entirety, please subscribe using the link below. If you're a student, apprentice, or just find yourself in a situation where it isn't financially feasible to subscribe, please reach out to me on Facebook or through the website. The good folks at Out West Design and Fabrication are lending their support by helping us to cover your scholarship subscription. You can check out many of their incredible projects on their Facebook page. Out West Design and Fabrication, your choice for farrier rakes. Now here's a sample of this week's episode. Thank you for listening.
Most people that I know in this industry only want the best for the other people in the industry, which is a pretty cool thing.
Welcome everyone. No shopkeeping for today. Here's another interview I did in England at last year's Focus. As you will hear, Iain was more than a little bit hesitant about doing this interview, but he did a great job nonetheless. Ever since I met him on my first trip to England, when Danny took my Mrs. Hannah and I to Newmarket for a tour with Simon Curtis, I knew I wanted to have Iain on here. He's one of those people in our industry who is highly skilled and knows his stuff, but doesn't tell anyone about it. So I'm glad he got to share some of his story here. Humble and witty, Iain is one of those great farriers we should all get to know more. I hope you enjoy this conversation as much as I did. Iain, you were one of our tour guides of Newmarket when my missus and I came 2 years ago. Simon Curtis met us, and we went around with him, and then we got to hang out with you for a while, and you showed us some of your yards.
Yeah.
Ever since then, I wanted to interview you, but I hadn't run into you. And then all of a sudden, Jamie had you.
Yeah, under duress.
Yeah.
We'll definitely call it that.
Yeah, he didn't put the black hood over you this time. A few other guests have been come in here under more duress.
Yeah. So I think we started off in Sir Michael Stout's. I've been there just short of 10 years.
Okay.
And in that time, shot some amazing horses to work with, just brilliant. I've done a Derby winner, 2022, called Desert Crown. I think I showed you how when we were there. Yeah. Unfortunately, he didn't quite make it last year. He lost himself. He injured under training. So I'd probably say he was the best horse I ever shod. Racehorse wise, that never got to show his full potential. How he won the Derby was, I think he'd ran 2 or 3 times at the most before the Derby, which for Sir Michael Stout, he's well renowned for being very patient with horses. And he won, he was favourite for the Derby and won it just going away from the field. And I didn't actually see the race live. I had to be down at the start.
Okay.
Because for big classics, Sir Michael always likes you down at the start. So just in case anything was to go wrong, you're
right there.
You're right
ready
there, just
to do
in case.
Pick through.
Luckily, didn't have to have anything to do. So I had friends, a good friend of mine, he was in the stands watching the race, and I was on the phone.
He was giving you play-by-play?
In commentary, and it was amazing, really, because he was coming round. There's a part in Epsom called Tattenham Corner. And he says, you're in a really good position. I won't do his accent. He's Northern Irish, and he's going, you're in a really good position. He says, you're doing well. You come around Tattenham Corner, you're doing really well. He said, you're cruising. You're going to win the Derby, and you're going to win the Derby. And he was absolutely screaming, you've won the Derby. It was just like, amazing.
Almost better than watching it.
It was, in a way, it was quite surreal. And then I managed to eventually watch it back and I was like, oh, wow, like he was awesome. And that was a good day. And yeah, luckily to be associated with a couple other Group 1 and very good animals. So I'm very lucky to have been a part of his team. And just recently he's announced his retirement.
Okay.
So my business will certainly take a little bit of a bit of a lull while we find something else. But he's been fantastic to work for.
Right. Now, and in a small area like Newmarket with so many trainers all in one area, is there much turnover, or are you, once you've got an account, you're there for quite a while and it takes a while to get others?
So I've got a couple of apprentices, and I always say that with the work that I've got, I've been very lucky to have it and to get it in the first place. But without being big-headed, I've been good enough to keep it.
Yeah.
And I think certainly since when I started to now, farriery has changed, and it's maybe not changed for the better, but it's changed into more of a service providing kind of industry where you're not necessarily how well you shoe horses, it's how well you can be there when they click your fingers. And if you're not there when they want you there, they're damn sure they're going to find someone who will do that.
Right.
And it's like loyalty, it's kind of, it's a bit of a sore subject, and to many of us, you've just got to suck it up and be there. It's tough, but everyone knows themselves. We've all got those customers that just want us yesterday.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I think the generations, the age groups are the same as in North America. The old guard didn't have that same sort of service oriented. It was like, I'm good, so you either get me when I'm available,
you work
that's it
for itself as such.
Yeah.
And I think there's always an element of that. I think good farriers will always have work,
but you have to have that other
100%.
side of it, or I think you get lost.
100%. And I think, like for me, I've got a young family now, and having taken on apprentices is definitely a good move for my business.
So you can cover it?
Yeah, exactly. I'm lucky I'm only 10 minutes outside of Newmarket, but when you've had a busy day and you want to get home and your little girl wants to play, and you've got a phone call from a trainer that wants you to have a look at it look at a horse with a vet or something, it's hard to, oh, sorry, Daddy's going to be back in half an hour. By that time, she's almost going to bed.
Yeah.
So if I can give one of the lads a call and say, are you close? Can you just nip in? It's a lot easier. That work-life balance, definitely.
Yeah, and I think that has been the toughest part. When that transition happened, you do feel like you have to be on call 24/7. The client feels like you have to be, and somebody takes a hit somewhere, and it's often your family or...
Yeah, and I think it's especially when they're young, you're not getting that time back.
No, exactly.
And it's no matter how bad a day I've had, I can go home and there's always one person that's happy to see me. Whether it be the dogs, but usually my little girl.
The dogs are just a backup.
Most of the time, my other half as well. So, should say that just in case she ever listens.
I'll just cut out the last part that you said should say that. And then another thing I wanted to ask you, so in the hunter-jumper world, I have found often the ones who perform the best are also the biggest freaks to work on the ground, because they
the horses or
well,
or both.
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 But because they are so high energy, or they're a freak of nature in some ways, their ground manners tend to be worse and things like that. Do you experience that or not?
I tend to agree, but more so with the fillies, the very good fillies that I've been lucky to have shod, like for the top level. I would 100% say that the fillies are certainly, I think I might be wrong in saying it, but I think they've almost got testosterone in abundance, and they're almost more colt-like, and they're certainly the better ones that I've dealt with have been particularly harder to deal with than the colts. The colts are kind of like us guys. We're quite easily persuaded by food or distraction. Yeah. Whereas a filly, I think most women, you kind of have to ask them rather than tell them. Yeah, you have to tell a colt what to do, like us. You have to tell us to get out of the pub. I think on the whole, I would say that a lot of it is how we approach it. Like, I'm lucky I've got, let's say, good apprentices where I certainly see it as more of a team event rather than an individual. I like to get my lads thinking for themselves. I think that's a massive part of the game. And I think when it comes to dealing with horses that can be fractious, we're dealing with everything from foal right the way through to race horses. And we've got a couple studs that will literally, I've done them from foal.
If you would like to hear this episode in its entirety, please subscribe using the link in the show notes. Thank you for listening.